All right, thanks, Joey. Well, time now for a check of your top stories, and we start with the latest on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will virtually address Congress sometime on Wednesday. Now, he's expected to pressure lawmakers and President Biden for more military assistance to defeat Russia. And while the president did sign off on billions more in Ukrainian aid, but he has not budged on the request for a no-fly zone and assistance to get fighter jets into Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian suburbs are in ruins and Russian troops are pushing to the edge of Kyiv. And now Mayor Vitali is instituting a curfew and urging those who are not fighting to take cover as so many in other areas rush to escape. More than 3 million, mostly women and children, have left Ukraine. And as support for people in Ukraine continues, so does the heartbreak right now. And our One Caribbean News' Haley Potter caught up with 2 Ukrainian women, and they both have family and friends that are still in that war-torn country. And their relatives sent photos of what life is truly like in Kyiv right now, and it's heartbreaking.
We need to stop this war as soon as possible.
Natalia Ishikova and Violet Boyle were both born in Ukraine. Natalia just moved to the States 2 years ago, and both of these women have family and friends in and near Kyiv, Ukraine right now.
Every day they hear their houses are shaking. They hear
the bombs. They
bombs
hear the shooting. They hear
from the
attacks.
sky.
They're hearing firsthand from their relatives and friends what it's like to be in this war-torn country right now, and worrying about them from thousands of miles away.
They're sending us. We see videos, pictures, and it's heartbreaking because you never thought it would come to this. They're all in basements without food. They're not able to go anywhere. They're not able to do anything. They are trying to escape, and in some areas it is so much worse where they can't escape. Some people will even go to the Russian soldiers and beg and be like, we need food. We need to get to this town to at least, we have people there giving us food. And what do? They're like, no, we can't get food. You can't get food.
Violet's grandmother is in a part of Ukraine where she isn't able to escape, so she's hiding in her basement, praying for her own safety. Phone calls aren't even a guarantee. As they tell me, the Russians have interfered with cell service and Wi-Fi.
Phone calls here and there, and they last maybe a minute if we're lucky. The Russians have the cell services. They are recording what you are saying. There's a limit to what you can say. And everyone is like, we can't say where we are. We can't say what we're doing because we're being tracked. It's scary because you can literally basically say, how are you? Are you okay? Are you safe? And that's it.
Natalia's mom and dad live in a village outside of Kyiv. They too are hiding, but can talk on the phone a little easier.
Sitting here, of course, I feel like I'm there, literally. I'm sitting and I'm watching TV, but home, my soul in my native city in the Kyiv.
She says her family is confident in the Ukrainian army. Both women want to get their message out that the people of Ukraine need everyone's help right now.
There's so much, there's 45 million people in Ukraine, and there's millions trying to get out, and Poland can only hold so much.
But they are grateful for all of the support they're getting here in America.
Much more better, and I feel like people with me. I'm not alone here.
Truly heartbreaking images there. Thank you for that report, Haley. Well, switching gears now, the London-based Privy Council on Monday sided with the Bermuda government to uphold a ban on same-sex marriages in the country. The ruling reversed an earlier court decision that cleared the way for same-sex marriages in this British overseas territory. The Attorney General of Bermuda appealed to the Privy Council after the country's Court of Appeal and Supreme Court ruled that Section 53 of the island's Domestic Partnership Act 2018, which confines marriage to a union between a man and a woman, was invalid. But London's Privy Council, which is Bermuda's highest appellate court, found that the legislation banning same-sex marriage in the country was not unconstitutional. The case attempting to establish the right to gay marriage had been brought by 6 people, including Roderick Fredrickson, a gay Bermudian, and others, including gay rights group Out Bermuda and the Parlor Tabernacle of the Vision Church of Bermuda. The judges sitting in London allowed the Attorney General's appeal by a 4-1 majority.
The Judicial Committee, by majority, would allow the appeal and advise Her Majesty the Queen to that effect. Lord Sales dissents and would have dismissed the appeal, but only on the ground that Section 53 was in breach of the protection of freedom of conscience in Section 8 of the Constitution. The board is unanimous in rejecting the respondents' challenge based on an asserted prohibition of legislation enacted for a religious purpose. There is no such prohibition in the Constitution, nor has the board recognized such a provision in other constitutions within its jurisdiction. Constitutional validity is assessed by the effect of the legislation and not the motivation of the legislators in enacting it. In any event, the board is satisfied that the DPA, including Section 53, was not passed for a religious purpose, but as a compromise between different opinions in Bermuda and to fulfill an electoral promise.
And Bermuda's Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs and Constitutional Reform, Kathy Lynn Simmet, said the government is pleased with the outcome of the appeal and will now take time to consider the full judgment and its impact. Same-sex marriages have been allowed to take place for several years. Well, the case went through the legal process, but it was not immediately known how many have taken place. And switching gears now, in Puerto Rico this month, kids 12 years and older will have the opportunity to participate in a new cultural program that will help them explore the world of performing arts. Our Francis Felix explains.
To improve the quality of life of children and young people, the municipality of San Juan will begin a free enrichment cultural program that will help public houses in the capital city.
The initiative, called the Art Squad, was made through an alliance between the municipality of San Juan and the Public Housing Administration. The objective is to ensure that children over 12 years of age and young adults from these communities experience the artistic environment and the work that includes the presentation of a play. The project will begin now in March and will impact a total of 60 participants from the 4 public housing projects: Las Casas, Villa España, San Martin, and Alejandrino. Participants will learn and practice the artistic disciplines of theater, music, singing, and Puerto Rican bomba.
Escuadrón del Arte, which is Art Squad, well, our new Art Squad has 4 different components. It has theater, music, bomba puertorriqueña, and singing and chorus. So what we're doing is that we're choosing 4 different public housing developments in San Juan, and for every 3 months we're going to be impacting these 4 communities. Every 3 months then we go to new different communities. So for every 3 months we're going to be impacting 60 youth from the ages 12 on up, giving them these performing arts resources. For me, as Director of Arts and Culture, this is very important to me because I come from a public housing project myself. I was born and raised in the Luis Llorens Torres housing development, so I know what it's like. I know what the arts can do in your lives. The arts can heal, arts save people, arts can definitely save your life, and without a doubt, they can guide you and take you through a better path. So coming from these public developments, I understand how important it is. The arts gives us like this sensitivity that people need, especially when we live in harsh neighborhoods. So I'm aware that the effect that this can produce in the kids that we're impacting is going to make a difference without a doubt.
El Escuadrón del Arte, the Art Squad, have the expectation of having more kids every 3 months. Also, the municipality of San Juan will be in charge of these workshops and giving materials for the participants. Also, the public housing department will be identifying the residents and also providing the community centers for the workshops and rehearsals and transportation for the final event. From San Juan, Puerto Rico, Francis Felix.